I grew up watching Memphis in the early 80s, but found Crockett in 1986. One of the things I most remember about it was the distinctive clicking sound the ropes would make. This wasn't the case in the Techwood Drive studio ring, just the house show matches that aired on Worldwide and Pro. Do you have any idea what I'm talking about? If so, what made them sound so different than other ropes in wrestling? Was it just one particular ring venue that had this feature? At any rate, thanks for all you do, including serving as a cathartic outlet for us frustrated old Southern Democrats.
Thank you very much. The answer to that is most of Crockett's towns had their own rings, unless it was a spot show. And there were a few of those every week also that, Klondike Bill or George Harris or somebody would haul the ring to. But a lot of the buildings kept their own rings, and they had the same ring in Raleigh, the same ring in Norfolk, or the same ring in Richmond or whatever for years. In Greenville, South Carolina, we had the Smoky Mountain Wrestling red barricade rails from around the ring were actually used by Crockett in Greenville, South Carolina for about 20 years. But anyway, I digress. I'm not going to bore you, but with ring construction, the WWF and I believe the AWA at the time were the only rings that actually used real ropes. And they were the 20 square foot rings. So they're bigger than the Southern rings, and they use real ropes, which they have more stretch, and they're the ones that are harder to keep tight and et cetera. And, you see it now. Southern rings, especially Crockett's rings, were 18 feet square and used 1/4-inch steel cable as the ropes, which because the real ropes over time stretch and break, and you constantly have to fucking replace them. And also it's the process of tying them off in one corner is an art you have to learn. Cables are a lot easier and cables last longer. I always used cables, liked cables better, gave you more support on the aerial moves. But while the ropes can be wrapped with duct tape, the color you want, you can't just wrap duct tape around those cables. So you use garden hose and or some type of rubber tubing. Depending on the quality, durability, or expense of same, you sometimes, and the way that it's put together, if somebody knows what they're doing, and it's taped down underneath the turnbuckle pads in the corners so that they don't move and etc. That's nice. It gives you some padding. You can hit the ropes. It doesn't hurt you too bad and break your ribs and everything, and then you can tape them the colors you want. But if those hoses, am I going too far here, Brian? If those hoses are either too big for the small cable or not taped down right so that they're stationary and they can roll or move, or just the wrong material and that real hard rubber instead of the more pliable stuff, when you hit them, it sounds like clack, 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 because the rubber is actually hitting the cable inside the goddamn deal and it's bouncing around. Well, did anybody expect that answer?
No, that was a very long-winded answer for a very short question, Jim. Thank you very much.